Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. But what can you say about Tuesday?
Back in the 80s again.
Nothing.
It rained for 5 seconds on my way to work today.
I thought I saw somebody drive by with some wet windshield.
I'm like, what is happening? I'm out of nowhere.
All right. Well, partly cloudy, very slight chance of rain. It looks like we already got ours. 83-ish for a high. Then tomorrow up near 90. Same thing on Thursday. Back into the mid-80s on Friday. Got Shaw back in the newsroom after his birthday break, so we'll talk to him, see how the dinner was. Let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. We'll talk to Grant Bills from the Wisco Sports Show a bit later on. And, of course, if you need anything, you can text us on the Rock Line, 608-784-0957. Find all of our contact info on the website, rockmornings.com. Doc says, since I've heard Parkway Drive, could you please fix that? Sounds like Doc was having a little trouble with the texting.
Well,
Since I haven't heard Parkway Drive, could you please fix that?
Yeah. He's driving a big rig. There's a CDL involved here. He's got to pay attention.
Still, with his record of transgressions, might be a good idea to
voice
pull
to
over.
Text. Voice to text, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Text properly. Check the grammar, all that stuff. We'll see if we can get to that Parkway Drive and some Offspring in just a bit.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
She must have hidden the plans in the escape pod. Send a detachment down to retrieve them. See to it personally, Commander. There'll be no one to stop us this time.
Yes, sir.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
So, you have accepted the truth.
I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father.
That name no longer has any meaning for me. Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become.
You must take your place in the circle of life.
How can I go back? I'm not who I used to be.
Hell of a voice, great actor, and passing away yesterday at the age of 93. James Earl Jones, obviously the voice of Darth Vader, Field of Dreams, Lion King. He was way back in the day. What was that? Conan, and was it the Barbarian or the Destroyer? It was one of the two.
Barbarian.
Barbarian. Coming to America. Yeah. The list goes on and on. There's so many others, obviously, but the big memorable ones there, just a few of them. But dead at the age of 93, James Earl Jones.
And no cause of death reported so far.
Well, when you're 93, Shaw.
Yeah, it could be about anything,
Just
right?
about anything can get you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not 93, but you did have a birthday over the weekend.
I did, yes.
How did it go?
Good. Yeah, it was good.
You went to the Freight House for dinner?
We did.
And how was that?
Delicious, of course.
What, you have the crab legs?
I had the crab, and I just let them swim in that butter for a while before I popped them in my mouth. Oof. So good.
Were you a mess? Like, were you attacking them?
Is there a bib involved?
I could have used a bib, probably, yeah. But
did you do the salad bar as well?
Of course.
Oh, man.
You don't go to the Freight House without hitting up the salad bar.
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
I overserved myself, of course. But
hey, that's what birthdays are for, man. Food coma on Monday yesterday?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Loose pants?
Mm-hmm.
Sweatpants, maybe? All right. Did you get anything from the kids? Old Spice, a new wallet, new tie?
I got to talk to all of my kids on my birthday, which was nice. I was able to see Jack in person. I was able to talk to Adam on the phone, and I was able to Zoom with Hannah from Switzerland, where she's vacationing currently. So.
How's the trip to Germany and all that going for her?
Yeah, she's enjoying herself. She's staying at an Airbnb in a town in Switzerland that's a horse farm. And she's got her own little studio apartment there and hoping to pet some horses, I think, while she's there. So
I don't think that'll be a problem at the horse farm, right? All right. Well, what else is going on?
A Rochester man who is suspected of murdering his sister last month in Eau Claire has apparently killed himself after a police chase in Minnesota. Eau Claire police notified law enforcement in Minnesota last week that 59-year-old Scott Jenkins might be in their area. Scott was considered a suspect in the August shooting death of his sister, Michelle Jenkins. A Winona police officer spotted Scott Jenkins' car on Friday night and followed the vehicle onto I-90. When officers stopped the car in the St. Charles area and the driver didn't get out, they checked the vehicle and found that Jenkins had shot himself. Eau Claire police are continuing to investigate the case. A second suspect in a recent North La Crosse shooting has appeared in court. Bond for Tyler Yagmas of La Crosse has been set at $250,000 cash in connection with gunfire outside a George Street bar over Labor Day weekend. Yagmas is currently charged with retail theft and bail jumping. Police believe Yagmas and Ryder Ott got into a fight with a third man over a drug deal, and that other man ended up being shot in the leg. Yagmas is expected to be officially charged tomorrow. Ott is accused of endangering safety and is due back in court next week. Tonight's presidential debate will give Americans perhaps their most detailed look at a campaign that's been dramatically reshaped. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will meet for the first time face-to-face tonight in Philadelphia. For both of them, it's a high-pressure opportunity to showcase their starkly different visions for the country after a tumultuous campaign summer. Trump has struggled to adapt to Harris, the first woman, black person, or person of South Asian descent to serve as vice president. Harris, meanwhile, will face a rare round of sustained questioning. She has sat for only a single formal interview in the 6 weeks since taking over the Democratic ticket. Tropical storm Francine churned in the Gulf of Mexico with increasing strength and is expected to reach hurricane status today before reaching landfall in Louisiana. A storm surge warning is in effect for an area stretching from just east of Houston to the mouth of the Mississippi River south of New Orleans. People were lining up yesterday in South Louisiana to buy gas and essentials. Some also filled sandbags to protect their homes. Francine is the sixth named storm of the hurricane season and is expected to crash ashore tomorrow afternoon on Louisiana's coast. Rains from Francine also drenched parts of northeast Mexico yesterday, causing flooding and closing schools.
Blah.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at a presidential debate bingo cards.
Yeah.
So maybe we could get these and print these off, and we could all play
at home?
Yeah. There is a free space in the middle.
You got to watch it to play.
Yeah, you do.
And I ain't watching it.
Or listen. You wouldn't have to necessarily have.
Is that even on the radio? Like, does the radio carry that anywhere?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's on, like, XM or something.
Some stations will, yeah. Public radio stations, perhaps.
Ugh. No thanks. I can think of about a billion other things I'd rather do than watch those two yap at each other. Who's the moderator on this one?
I don't recall. It's two people from ABC.
Right,
That's the network. I don't remember
ABC
their names. A man and a woman. I don't remember their name.
Are we putting them glass boxes? Is the mics getting muted? Do we know the
I believe the mics are to be muted. I know there was some disagreement about that between the candidates, but I think ultimately that's how it will go.
And are they standing or sitting? Because that was a question when Biden and Trump went at it, right? Was whether or not they'd be sitting down?
Yeah, and I think they were at that time seated, but I don't know in this case what their intent is.
All right. They get a tag team partner, somebody they can like tag in case they get a little bit little injured or something like that.
I don't think I can do this drinking game though. I think I'm going to have to do the bingo one. The sip by sip, line by line thing looks like it's going to be a long night show.
Right?
They come out to their own theme music. Is that how it works? Like Stone Cold Steve Austin show?
Nice.
The Texas Rattlesnake?
I don't think there's a ring. I don't think. I think there's podiums, but no ring.
Leg wrestling? Are they going to leg wrestle? Thumb wrestle? Arm wrestle? What are we talking? What kind of wrestling? Hot oil wrestling? Cream corn wrestling? Jello wrestling? Chocolate pudding wrestling?
Gravy. We've seen that one.
Gravy wrestling. What kind of wrestling? Spaghetti wrestling.
I do like the thumb idea.
Thumb wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think would win?
I declare a thumb war.
Who's got longer thumbs?
I have no idea. Tonight, though, everywhere and always.
Everywhere like such
as.
All right.
It'll be everywhere.
More from Shaw coming up a bit later on. Right now, it's The Offspring.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Hey, don't knock on my window like that, man. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window like that, though. Like what? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here. Don't knock that way you can lower it and talk to you. Just get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm gonna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do. it down. Hey, keep your window down. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Get out of the car. Give me that. We'll break that window. Get out of the car. I'm gonna get out. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 Damn. What part of town are you in this car? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, dude. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little you. I'm getting out, bro. Too late. Too late. All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do. We are. We will. Good, bro. It is good. Hey. Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. Stop crying.
That is some of the audio from the body cam footage of Tyreek Hill on Sunday getting detained before the Dolphins game. Pulled over and put his window down, got in kind of an argument there with the officer, then rolled the window up, and the officer kept telling him to open his window, and he wouldn't do it, and then they opened the door, and then they grabbed him by the head, and they dragged him out of the car, and then two other cops come out of nowhere, and they get him on the ground. One cop at one point put his arm around his neck like he was going to choke him. The officer, by the way, who detained Tyreek Hill was placed on administrative leave while they investigate this situation. But Tyreek Hill making the rounds yesterday, being on a bunch of talk shows and talking about his experience and saying, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? It was just some other person. We'll see how this all plays out. Week 1 in the NFL wrapped up last night. Jordan Mason, boy, this guy, if you had him on your fantasy team, you just scored a bunch of points. 147 yards and a touchdown in place of injured Christian McCaffrey. 49ers spoiling Aaron Rodgers' comeback with a 32-19 win over the Jets last night. Week 2 in the NFL will kick off on Thursday night with Buffalo at Miami. That game on Prime at 7:15. Seems like Josh Allen will be okay to go. He had a little hand injury over the weekend for Buffalo. But Lions, by the way, this weekend will host Tampa Bay on Sunday at noon. Packers host the Colts on Sunday at noon. Vikings host the 49ers on Sunday at noon. And the Bears are in Houston this weekend for Sunday Night Football. Packers do not plan to put quarterback Jordan Love on injured reserve. Apparently they think his recovery from the left knee injury will be a lot shorter than originally.
Okay, I like this.
Originally thought. In the meantime, they will prepare the recently acquired Malik Willis to be their starting quarterback on Sunday against the Colts. But originally we had heard 3 to 6 weeks for Jordan Love, and now maybe not even that long. Might even be shorter. Brewers have lost 5 of their last 7 games. They were off yesterday, and they're in San Francisco tonight to take on the Giants. That game is at 8:45 on ESPN+. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, aggravating his knee injury against the Lions on Sunday night, will be placed on IR. According to head coach Sean McVay, Nacua has a PCL, a posterior cruciate ligament sprain, and will miss at least 4 games by being placed on the IR. Meanwhile, a new lawsuit has been filed, civil lawsuit in Houston, that now accuses Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson of sexual assault and battery in October of 2020 when he was still a member of the Houston Texans. As we remember, he was in some big legal trouble with the whole massage thing. Now it sounds like he did it again, allegedly. This one's a little different. It sounds like he had set up a date with this woman, and she didn't want to go out in public, so he went over to her house, and then he got naked, and it's just... You can read more about it, but according to the lawsuit, the alleged actions occurred before Watson and a woman who goes by Jane Doe in the court filing were set to have dinner at the woman's apartment. So, sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll talk to Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show at about 8:25. Get some of his reactions from the Packers game in Brazil, and look forward to this weekend's game against the Colts and see what he thinks about Malik Willis. Funny, we were talking about backup quarterbacks and bringing in a veteran.
Last week.
It's that's why it's such a interesting and important question to ask, because you never know. I mean, you look at Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? One play, 4 plays into the game, and he's done for the season. And then what do you got behind him?
So did he have a slow start last night? Was it just not?
I watched a little bit. They had one drive in the first half that was really good, but other than that, it didn't seem like he was really on point. But the whole Jets team was kind of the whole Jets team was kind of a mess. They're the Jets. Jets are going to Jets, as they say. We're going to hear from one of the bands that's going to be in our area on Saturday at Copeland Park and Event Center. We'll do that next.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
It's time for today's Lucky Land horoscope with Victoria Cash. Life's gotten mundane, so shake up the daily routine and be adventurous with a trip to Lucky Land. You know what they say, your chance to win starts with a spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com to play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready for the most anticipated night in politics since Trump versus Biden.
Everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
She stands just steps away from history.
Hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
But he stands in her way.
Kamala Harris. So, did you see her last night on television with the laugh? Ha, ha, ha.
Trump versus Harris, the free-for-all in Philly tonight.
The free-for-all in Philly?
Is that what they're calling it? The free-for-all?
I don't think so.
It is tonight. It's on all the major networks. I believe it starts at 8 o'clock our time. And it'll be the first debate between the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and former President, Donald Trump. If that's not your jam and you want to watch something else, you're in luck. There's plenty of other things on television. The series premiere of Jack Whitehall, Fatherhood with My Father, that's on Netflix. A comedian named Jack Whitehall travels around the world with his dad while discussing his own challenges of becoming a new father. It seems to be a new thing. Celebrities taking their parents around the world. Okay. I think Anthony Anderson did that with his mom, right? Because she had a career in showbiz and gave it up so that she could raise him and he could be prosperous, and now he's taking her around the world.
I'm all about this trend. Let it happen, Sean. Let them bring us around the world. Am I right?
Isn't Eugene Levy going around the world with his kid too?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm okay. Okay. Your daughter's in Switzerland. Were you asked to go?
No, I was not.
Huh.
Well, at least you got to see some of it from Zoom.
I got to Zoom with her. Yeah, that was nice.
Also on TV tonight, the third episode of Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. That's season 4 of that show. Speaking of that show, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez will all be on with Jimmy Fallon tonight, along with Lainey Wilson. Jimmy Kimmel's got Jane Fonda, George Conway, and Good Neighbors. John Dickerson will be on with Stephen Colbert. Kevin Hart and James McAvoy going to be on with Seth Meyers. Speak No Evil. Mm-hmm. I think that comes out this week.
No, thank you.
I didn't know. That's a remake. Did you know that? My wife told me that this weekend. I had no idea.
Nope.
Have you seen the previews for that movie, Shaw?
I don't think so. Another horror movie?
It's more of a psychological thriller rather than a horror movie. So James McAvoy, you're familiar with the actor?
Mm-hmm.
It looks almost like he may have a family that's under duress, that don't want to be there with him in a cabin, and another couple kind of shows up, and they invite them to stay with them. I think they may have car trouble or something. And at first, everything seems fine and nice and sweet and dandy, but then all of a sudden, James McAvoy starts kind of being a weirdo. And I think the kid had his tongue cut out or something like that. So, yeah. But Speak No Evil. I think that comes out in theaters this weekend.
It looks like it was made in... There was one a couple years ago that was Danish. So maybe this is...
Oh, so it's like an English version of it?
Yes.
Okay. Also, it's new release Tuesday, so if you want to pick up a DVD on your way home... I don't know where the hell you do that now. Is it a gas station?
No.
It ain't Best Buy, right?
No Redbox.
No DVDs, I don't think.
I've seen Red Boxes out there still.
No, they're done. They're toast.
Are they? I thought I just saw one at Walgreens.
Well, maybe nobody came to get it because the company went bankrupt. So
not getting any.
That's funny.
Why are there no new films in this damn thing? Inside Out 2, rated PG. Amy Poehler, Maya Hawke, Lewis Black, Diane Lane, Flea, a whole bunch of others.
Anxiety.
The sequel, The Emotions. Anxiety shows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's going through puberty and experiencing brand new emotions for the first time, and anxiety shows up. Also, the Kevin Costner flop, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. Does that mean we're getting a Chapter 2?
Is this the Western that
Yeah.
nobody
That's all he does
watched?
anymore is Westerns.
Rated R, starring Kevin Costner, Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington. A multifaceted 15-year span of pre- and post-Civil War expansion and settlement of the American West. This sounds like a PBS documentary.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe
Doesn't
that's
sound
why
like-
nobody watched it.
It doesn't sound like something I want to go to the theater for entertainment. Also, Late Night with the Devil. This is, I believe, a Shudder exclusive. It's rated R. I can't pronounce the guy's last name, but he's that weird-looking dude. And we watched it. It's okay. Live television broadcast back in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. It's not based on a true story or anything. It's just a horror movie.
Okay.
It takes a really long time for the payoff, and it's not worth it. I'll be honest with you. The hour and 20 minutes you got to sit there for the 10 minutes of payoff is not worth it. Also on DVD today for New Release Tuesday, Chicago PD Season 11, Fire Country Season 2, Knuckles Season 1, Law & Order SVU Season 25, Ted Season 1, and The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live Season 1. So that's what's new on New Release Tuesday and what's on the Boob Tube.
Speaking of Kevin Costner, just hearing the news of my friend passing, that booming voice, that quiet strength, the kindness that he radiated, so much can be said about his legacy. So now I'll just say how thankful I am I'm part of it, and that it included Field of Dreams. If you've ever seen the movie, you know this wouldn't be the same without anyone else in his role. Only he could bring that kind of magic to a movie about baseball and a cornfield in Iowa.
Well, and look at what that has done all these years later now. Now it's become a yearly broadcast. I mean, it was, it started out a couple of years ago with like kind of a trial run, and they had to redo the field and all that stuff.
Playing actual major league games at the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, and how cool is that? So, James Earl Jones, dead at the age of 93. Kevin Costner, Horizon movie on DVD today. I bet that's going to sell about 2 copies. Oof.
Hey, the boost to the local economy for the debate tonight, you were talking about Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Even though there's no audience, they're just saying that between the Secret Service and all the people that had to come to town in advance of it, that they had filled hotel rooms for days and days and days. And the hospitality industry as well, really getting a boost with all these.
As long as they pay their bills, right?
Yeah, right.
Noticeable
Not to mention
presence.
the prostitutes, because I know the Secret Service guys love them prostitutes, right?
All of that. A boom to the economy.
Or is
in
that
Philly.
just out of the country?
8 o'clock tonight, Shaw?
8 o'clock Central, yep.
They don't support American sex workers, just
Just the foreign ones.
out of country sex workers. Is that the deal? Three-way with Shaw. What else is going on?
A shooting in La Crosse earlier this month leads to a second arrest in the case and a court appearance for Tyler Yogmas. The La Crosse man is accused of retail theft, but could be charged with other crimes. When
So he's
returns
not the
to
one who
court
did the
tomorrow.
shooting. The one who did the shooting turned himself in?
Correct. That's
Okay.
what police allege. The bond for Yogmas is set at $250,000, and he faces a potential attempted homicide charge. Yogmas and a co-defendant, Ryder Ott, were involved in a fight over a drug transaction with a third man who was shot in the leg in the George Street parking lot. Ott is charged with endangering safety. A police chase through southern Minnesota yesterday leads to possible charges for a La Crescent driver. Matthew Davis is accused of fleeing police in a stolen pickup truck. Davis reportedly was pursued by officers from La Crescent as he drove west in the wrong lane of I-90. After Davis turned around and headed back, police used spike strips to slow down the vehicle. He was forced to leave the truck when police put a pepper ball inside the vehicle.
Oh, snap.
Davis is expected to face charges in Houston County for stealing that pickup. This year's presidential race is a genuine contest of ideas between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. There are clear differences on taxes, abortion, immigration, global alliances, climate change, and democracy itself. Since replacing Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee, Harris has pledged to chart a new way forward, even as she has embraced many of his ideas about the middle class and abortion access. Trump wants to accomplish much of what he couldn't during his past term in the White House. He wants deeper corporate tax cuts, higher tariffs, and more support for American fossil fuel development. The two will face off in their first and perhaps only debate of the campaign tonight. Mayo's move into its new La Crosse hospital has begun. The new Mayo building off West Avenue was dedicated last month, and the first floor of the building is now open to patients. Registration, radiology, and the cafe are all located on the hospital's first floor. Another floor of the 6-story Mayo Hospital will be opened next week. John and Matthew Goudreau are being mourned by family, friends, and countless members of the hockey community at the funeral for the brothers who died when they were hit by a suspected drunk driver while riding bicycles in New Jersey. Buses brought players and others to the church in Pennsylvania. John Goodrow's Columbus Blue Jackets teammate Patrick Lane, along with Cole Caulfield of the Montreal Canadiens, the NHL commissioner Gary Bettman, and longtime executive Brian Burke were among those in attendance. The two died on the eve of their sister's wedding. Sad story.
Awful. There are a lot of tributes, though, to those two, and you see how impactful they were to the NHL and hockey community.
Well, and both widows are pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about the GoFundMe because Johnny Gaudreau was still in the NHL. His brother, I don't believe, was at the time of his death. But so his wife, pregnant with their first child, and GoFundMe had been set up to try to help mom, new child on the way, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And apparently the goal was $30,000, and it was, last we checked, over $600,000. Wow. So, yeah, pretty impactful.
Horrific.
Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom this morning. We'll get back to him for more Three Ways and, of course, Bad News, Happy Music. Our friend Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show is going to join us at about 8:25. Right now, it's STP.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
This one would be huge. Beetlejuice breaking all sorts of records with the new sequel in theaters, Beetlejuice. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of these beloved classics come out with sequels over the last couple of years, coming to America. Speaking of James Earl Jones. Pops into my head right away. Been several others. But now, the long-rumored sequel to Goonies may actually be a thing.
So not a remake?
No. And my guess is that maybe, similar to Beetlejuice, the kids from the original one come back to town for some sort of reason, maybe a funeral or a marriage or whatever, and then something happens and they go on another adventure.
Like Ghostbusters, sort of, where there was some of the original actors.
Yeah. I think
bridge the gap.
Whoever's still alive. But a British newspaper says that a sequel to The Goonies is in the works. Original cast supposedly going to return, and they are planning to film it next year and release it sometime in 2026 or 2027.
Bran, God put that rock there for a purpose, and I'm not so sure you should move it or anything.
My glasses. What happened to my glasses? According to a rumor, the original kids are returning. Sean Astin, Corey Feldman, Ke Huy Quan, Josh Brolin, Jeff Cohen, Kerry Green, Martha Plimpton, all still alive.
Okay.
Again, the movie filming maybe next year for a release sometime in 26 or 27. This report, by the way, is coming from the British magazine The Sun, one of these tabloids. A source says the Goonies reboot has been talked about for a long time, but it's finally been given the go-ahead to move forward.
Is Spielberg involved in this at all?
I don't know, but I just saw the word reboot, and that doesn't give me a lot of hope because I don't like reboots.
I know you
And
don't.
if you're going to bring back the original
if...
cast, then it's not a reboot. It's essentially a sequel, right? It's a continuation of the characters and the story we love so much.
Kids suck.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Another source says the team is excited about the opportunity to bring the magic of the original film to a new audience. I don't know. Of all the ones that could get a sequel, I'd be very excited about this one.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, that's President Kennedy, you idiot! Well, same difference. I mean, he played Kennedy once.
He did.
So we don't know exactly.
We'll see. I think this is a very good way to sell a lot of clicks on a website. Maybe a few tabloids, but we'll find out, I guess, in 2025.
I'm setting booby traps. That's what I said. I'm setting booby traps in case of anybody's following us. Like if we're toddlers, so we can hear them coming.
Again, I think all of the original kids are still alive. Yeah. I don't think Mama Fratelli's alive. I think she died a long time ago. Sloth, played by John Matuszak, he's dead. I don't know about Joe Pantoliano. I think he's still alive. Or did he die? The two Fratelli brothers?
He's alive.
I think he's alive, but I don't know about the other one. I think he might have died.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Maybe a Goonies sequel. Godsmack in just a couple of minutes. Stick around.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Godsmack with I Stand Alone, a band from my part of the country, the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Saw them several times when they were kind of beginning their career before they became Godsmack.
Interviewed them. Didn't you have an interview? Was that in a record store? Is that the one?
I never interviewed the band, but I did interview Sully one time at a station I worked at years ago, and he used to come into a bar that I worked at, became friends with the guy that owned the bar, and we went several places together and, partied a few times here and there, but Godsmack from the New England area, and I don't know if they love seafood as much as I do, but there's a guy that enjoyed seafood a little bit too much at Hampton Beach.
Overindulged? Oh, I think I might have seen this. Did he have trouble with a lobster roll?
So they have a big seafood festival every year at Hampton Beach, up and down the strip there, and the governor of New Hampshire, Governor Chris Sununu, apparently saved this guy's life during the Hampton Beach lobster roll eating competition. Now, I've had a lot of good lobster rolls in my time, but I savor them. I don't know if I feel like I want to be jamming a bunch of those things down my stomach to win a trophy or a couple $100.
So it was like a hot dog eating contest only with lobster rolls? Is that essentially what we're talking about?
I'd be the guy
here?
just sitting there enjoying lobster roll. I'd be stuffing them in my shirt under my arm so I could take them with me and eat them later. You know what I mean? Like, I want to enjoy these. I want to savor the moment. These are delicious. Yeah, there was a guy that apparently started choking, and the governor saw him first, so he walked over there and started getting some compressions on him.
Uh-huh.
And the best part about it is the piece of lobster got dislodged from the guy's throat, and he went right back to eating.
The gentleman at the far end, who I was kind of watching, he took a pause. He was having trouble getting something down. I started saying, he's choking, and I could tell people weren't responding, so I just moved forward and immediately started to kind of give him the Heimlich. He went right back to the contest, which I couldn't believe. He ate another 7 lobster rolls after that, right down the gullet.
My counter came up to me and made a joke and was like, oh, I bet nobody else can say that they've gotten a Heimlich from the governor before. I looked at him and was just like, that was the governor?
Yeah,
so
the governor.
You're choked, you have to get Heimlicked, and then you eat another 7 lobster rolls?
Wow, remember Joey Chestnut? He choked out that protester that one year, and then he still went on to win the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating competition.
Oh, thank you.
He's up there on stage, and they got ample security and people all around, but some idiot still made their way up on the stage, was jumping around and showing off a sign, and Joey Chestnut puts a kind of chokehold and is like, dude, I'm trying to eat some hot dogs here. But no, this guy's name is Christian Moreno. He began to signal for help, tapping on his chest, looking to get the stuck piece of lobster out of his windpipe. And apparently the governor went over there and gave him a couple of 4 or 5 compressions before the first responders came over and took over and helped free the stuck piece of lobster. And as you heard there, the governor said, quote, he went right back at the contest, which I couldn't believe. He ate another 7 lobster rolls after that. Right
I
down
can't
the
believe
gullet.
that either. Wouldn't you think you'd need to sit down and have some air and maybe it hurts?
Maybe reorganize your priorities in life. Like maybe I don't need to eat all these lobster rolls. Moreno, by the way, the contestant said it was his very first ever eating competition. He said, lo and behold, the governor was the first one to notice what was actually happening. I was just kind of like, all right, don't freak out. You're going to get this out. You're going to keep going. It was, not till after he put his glasses back on following the conclusion of the competition when he said he realized it was the governor who saved him.
Does it matter who does it as long as you get saved and then that comes out? Don't you think you'd stop eating? Oof,
Moreno, by the way, goes on to say he's grateful as he realizes the situation could have been much worse.
Yeah.
However, he is determined to be back next year, saying, I will be there for my redemption 100%.
So mayo, celery, lobster, lemon juice, is that kind of the thing? And some butter, a soft buttery bun, is that?
New England style bun. There's absolutely nothing in the world like it. It is phenomenal. Might be the greatest food ever invented. Take that lobster meat. Put it in a bowl, a little bit of mayo.
Celery.
Very fine chopped celery. Little lemon juice.
Mm-hmm. Butter. Buttery roll.
The butter part on the cold one comes on the roll. You get the warm one, then you're getting the buttery lobster.
Okay.
But yeah,
these are probably cold and...
Oh, yeah. Oh, so good. Again, I don't know why he'd want to hammer a bunch of those. I'd just be like, this is good. Hey, there's one over here. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd be throwing 10 or 15 of them down there. More from Shaw coming up. Also some Linkin Park. Stick around.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
I'm King Joffrey Joffre, ruler of Zamunda.
Yeah, we'll have a seat. Chair number 2 be ready in a second.
People will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have and peace they like.
The great James Earl Jones passing away yesterday at the age of 93, over 190 credits on his IMDb page just for acting alone. Coming to America, obviously. Lion King.
The Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October. Did some Star Wars stuff, obviously.
Really?
As the voice of Darth Vader. That kept him a little busy. Big Bang Theory was on that show.
Born in Mississippi, raised by his grandparents in Michigan, Shaw. He spent 8 years of his childhood in silence because of a horrible stutter.
Yeah.
I stuttered badly, and so I retreated and lived in a world of silence rather than speak. However, he eventually got the help of a teacher and helped him write poetry and then encouraged him to read that poetry aloud. And that's how he eventually, the written word is how he eventually was able to overcome that.
And he made a stop in lacrosse. It was just over 25 years ago. James Earl Jones spoke at UWL. It was back in 97 that he spoke as part of the university's Distinguished Lecture Series, which was part of the Unity Through Valuing Diversity Week that was being celebrated on campus.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else happened?
Investigators are trying to determine if skeletal remains found in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, are those of a missing 3-year-old child. The remains were found near the home of Katrina Bauer, whose son, Elijah View, has been missing since February. Police have not confirmed the identity of the remains. Bauer and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, are charged with neglect of a child, but no one has yet been charged in connection with the boy's disappearance. Bauer had left the boy with Vang because he was misbehaving, and she wanted Vang to teach him to be a man. Police said they found a deleted photo on Bauer's phone showing the boy blindfolded on a bed with what appears to be bruises on his jaw, neck, and arm. A Minnesota bus driver arrested last week for driving students while intoxicated has now been formally charged. 44-year-old Anthony Israelson of Culver, Minnesota, is charged with DWI while driving a school bus. Somebody called police to say Israelson was seen drinking heavily at a bar in Brookston. The caller was concerned because she knew Israelson was a bus driver and would be transporting kids the next morning. So deputies began following the school bus and pulled Israelson over as he took students to school. A breath test showed a blood alcohol level of 0.161, more than double the legal limit. He was placed under arrest, and the 18 children on the bus were taken to school by another bus. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and his wife Gwen are campaigning half a country apart today. Vice presidential candidate Walz is traveling through the Sun Belt with events scheduled today in Las Vegas and Arizona. Meanwhile, Mrs. Walz comes to La Crosse tonight. She's scheduled to visit the Concordia Ballroom, where a party will be held for watching the Harris-Trump debate on television. The most recent major campaign event in the city was in late August when Donald Trump spoke at the La Crosse Center. Green Bay Packers coach Matt LaFleur says the team does not plan to put Jordan Love on injured reserve, an indication the quarterback could return relatively soon. Love injured his left MCL in the final minute of the Packers' loss to the Eagles on Friday in Brazil. If the Packers put Love on injured reserve, he would have to miss at least 4 games. LaFleur provided more optimism when describing the Packers' quarterback situation for the game against the Colts. Although it's expected to sideline Love for multiple games, the Packers will start Malik Willis, and Sean Clifford will serve as the backup until Jordan Love is cleared again to play.
Yeah, and we'll talk to, Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show at about 8:25 about that. We've been asking him for weeks now about backup quarterbacks with the Packers as they went through training camp and, had a couple of guys behind Jordan Love, but neither of them seemed like they were going to.
Right. Sean Clifford was put on the practice squad. He could be elevated to the 53-man roster for that game next week. So.
Yeah, and they picked up Malik, right after training camp was
20
over?
days ago?
Yeah, so hurry up and learn the playbook, dude. Thankfully, they got the Colts coming into town, and the Colts are a pretty bad team, so they should be all right, even without Jordan Love behind center. Shaw in the newsroom. We'll talk to him again in just a bit. Get to more sports in a few minutes. Right now, it's Lincoln Park.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. Foo Fighters, Everlong. Before that, some Lincoln Park. Things are contentious right now. There was a lot of excitement centering around Lincoln Park with the countdown clock and rumors swirling that it was going to be the guy from Sum 41 as the new lead singer on a big world tour, maybe some new music, and then they announced the new lead singer, and there was some excitement, but there was also some people who were like, wait a minute, isn't that the girl that's in Scientology and also supported Danny Masterson, who allegedly raped all those people? And now Chester Bennington's kid is coming out
and saying
saying things
that aren't good.
Is not supportive of this decision.
Really?
Yeah, so this may implode. This whole Lincoln Park thing may implode.
Huh.
I mean, they got the dates. They're going to play the shows, is my guess. But as far as this continuing, they got some rough seas ahead, man. Things are a little contentious right now in the LP world, to say the least. Brewers have lost 5 of their last 7. They were off yesterday as they traveled to San Fran to take on the Giants starting tonight at 8:45 on ESPN+. Week 1 in the NFL wrapping up last night with the 49ers all over the Jets, 32-19 final score. Week 2 will kick off Thursday night. Buffalo at Miami, that game on Prime at 7:15. Packers will be hosting the Colts on Sunday at noon. Packers, by the way, also, as we heard from Shaw, not planning on putting Jordan Love on the IR. Sounds like 3 to 6 weeks, maybe even shorter, which is good news.
That's great news.
Malik Willis, by the way, going to get the start on Sunday against the Colts, but maybe it's only one game. Baseball Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. Apparently has prostate cancer. Former third baseman made the announcement on Saturday night on social media. Sounded optimistic, saying he will be ready to take part in the ritual cancer patients have of ringing the bell when they conclude their treatment, saying, quote, "With the strength and support of my family and my faith in God, I'm going to ring that damn bell." Tom Brady.
Meh. I heard
it wasn't good.
I heard it wasn't.
Look, I love Tom Brady. There's nothing that guy can't do, in my opinion.
Except broadcast?
Dude, game 1.
I know, but it was he's getting a lot of
I think
mediocre.
the hard part for Tom is going to be Tom's not like a regular guy. You know what I mean? He's not like a sit down and
have a beer, eat some chicken wings kind of guy.
Yeah, and tell Dick and fart joke. I mean, Tony Romo's that guy, right? That's why Tony works so well. Granted, it got too much with Tony at the end, right? It's like, we've had enough of you, Tony, enough. But Brady is just too robotic and weird. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't live a normal human being life. It'd be like putting Britney Spears up there, you know? She doesn't live in the real world. She lives in some alternate reality.
So him trying to relate to the average Joe just doesn't...
Reusing a lot of the same phrases, having weird pauses. I don't know how long he and the guy next to him worked together to try and, figure out that. Thankfully, they weren't, like, interrupting each other very much. There wasn't a lot of that going on, but it was more...
Clunky.
It was, yeah. But, dude, first go at it. You know what I mean? Like, he'll figure it out. If he really wants to do it, and for the money they're paying him, I can't imagine he wouldn't want to do it. But, yeah, plenty of criticism about his debut. Scott Hansen, NFL Red Zone host, making headlines. They were about to I don't know if you saw the game on Sunday afternoon, the Cowboys and who the hell was it? Wherever the hell they were playing. The Cowboys were about to boot a 71-yard field goal. They were going to try for a 70, which would have broken the NFL record. And Brady didn't really get all that excited about it. He kind of was, he was, he said some stuff, but it wasn't maybe to the level Scott Hansen thought it should be. And as Hansen was playing some of the clips from the game of Brady talking about the 71-yard field goal attempt, he said, Brady's got to get more excited than that in the booth. Well, then on Monday.
So then he said, I'm sorry.
Somebody at the NFL must have been like, yo, dude, issue an apology right now. He went on Twitter and said it was...
Sorry, Brady.
He said it was unfair and inconsiderate, even if it was tongue-in-cheek. He also emphasized that he is rooting for Brady to succeed in his second career. He said, this was unfair and inconsiderate by me. Yes, I was saying it tongue-in-cheek, but I didn't calculate how it may come across. At Tom Brady, I apologize. I promise I am rooting for you in this new venture. I'll agree, though. It was difficult. But again, he's not. He's an android. He's a weird robo-human. He's not going to be up there being able to talk like a normal human being. He just does. That's not what he does.
Is it because people had high expectations too?
Well, I just think because he's so good at football, you just assume he's going to go up there and
be able to talk about football,
right? And that doesn't always translate. There's been plenty of examples of former greats. Joe Montana, perfect example. His idol. Guy not so good in the broadcast booth. Go back and watch the tapes. Last but not least, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, your guy.
Yeah, was my guy. Let's be clear.
Played the whole game, made it past 4 snaps last night. And now he's going to have a new Netflix documentary to add to his portfolio. You're going to love the title on this one.
I'm sure I'm going to.
Netflix announcing yesterday that a new docuseries titled Aaron Rodgers Enigma will follow Rodgers' life off-field and his comeback journey after the injury from last year. 3 episodes will premiere on the streaming service December 17th, produced by Religion of Sports, Skydance Sports, and NFL Films.
I get it. He's weird, so it makes for something people want to consume.
Aaron Rodgers Enigma.
Stop.
Enigma. Are they going to talk about eating clay balls with his ex-girlfriend?
3-part series launches December 17th. Will follow his, how do you say it? That ayahuasca? How do you say
ayahuasca.
Life off the field,
his
apparently.
Ayahuasca retreats.
It will, yes.
Just what I don't need in my life. More goofy-ass Aaron Rodgers.
Except people will consume it. You know they will, because it's weird.
Oh, I know they will.
And he's in a dark box.
I would have had way more respect for the guy if he just said, no, I'm not doing the shot, and you can go stick it up your ass. You know what I mean? Like, instead, he did it, and that to me was enough. I was like, whatever.
Come on,
dude, my quarterback, my guy, he eats, weird ice creams and all the stuff.
Nightshades.
All the Tom Brady stuff I dealt with for 20, I'm used to it, but, just be honest, dude. Lead the charge. Tell people you're not taking the shot. You don't want it, don't do it. Enigma. So there's that. We'll get to Wage War in a couple of minutes. Stick around.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
What day is this?
It's National TV Dinner Day.
You don't want TV dinner?
They're TV dinners.
Why is it called TV dinner?
Just eat dinner and watch TV.
Having dinner, watching TV.
Run out and get me a TV dinner.
Eating a lot of TV dinners.
Make that plural, TV dinner.
My TV dinner. Just finished the TV dinner.
Happy National TV Dinner Day.
Have a great show.
Those things even a thing anymore? Like the metal tray that you can put in the oven, the Stouffer's?
It's not.
I like a lasagna, right? They got those lasagnas.
There's tons of that stuff.
But the one
Lunches
with the little tray, with the little
compartments,
little
for
dividers,
your chocolate cake and your peas and carrots.
Yeah, and the cherry jubilee or whatever the hell it was.
Hungry man.
Some hot mess of cherries.
They were 1,000 degrees when they came out of the oven. They took an hour to cook.
Yeah, took forever to cook, and then you couldn't touch the goddamn thing because it was so hot. It was nuclear. Not to mention, you couldn't put the tray on anything because it was metal, so it's like you're going to mess up mom's table. TV dinner day. I don't think I've ever eaten one. Like an old school 70s, 80s style Stouffer's.
You mean even as a kid, or?
No.
Really?
My mom always made dinner. I don't remember. It was not always, great or fantastic or a 9-course meal, but I vividly remember my mom always making dinner.
Now, we always got TV dinners or a chicken pot pie
when they would go out
to eat. So that would be our meal, and we'd have to sit there and wait for an hour for this thing to cook, and smelling it the whole time.
Couldn't order a pizza, have it delivered?
No, my dad was too cheap.
Also, it's World Suicide Prevention Day, and 988 is the crisis and suicide prevention hotline here in Wisconsin. Provides free and confidential support for anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, and or substance use crisis. You can just pick up your phone 24/7, call, text, chat, 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, World Suicide Prevention Day, along with National TV Dinner Day. What else is happening, Sean?
A Rochester man who was suspected of murdering his sister last month in Eau Claire has apparently killed himself after a police chase in Minnesota. Eau Claire police notified law enforcement in Minnesota last week that 59-year-old Scott Jenkins may be in their area. Scott was considered a suspect in the August shooting death of his sister, Michelle Jenkins. A Winona police officer spotted Scott Jenkins' car on Friday night and followed the vehicle onto I-90. When officers stopped the car in the St. Charles area and the driver didn't get out, they checked the vehicle and found that Jenkins had shot himself. Eau Claire police are continuing to investigate the case. Tonight's presidential debate watch party, hosted by the Democratic Party at the Concordia Ballroom on La Crosse Street, is sold out. That may be because the wife of Minnesota Governor and Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz will be at the event. Gwen Walz is expected to watch at least some of the debate with those in the audience. The debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump begins at 8 o'clock tonight. A billionaire has rocketed back into orbit, aiming to perform the first private spacewalk. Unlike his previous chartered flight, tech entrepreneur Jared Isaacman shared the cost with SpaceX this time around. Isaacman, along with a pair of SpaceX engineers and a former Air Force Thunderbirds pilot, launched just before dawn today aboard a SpaceX rocket from Florida. The four aim to reach new heights during their 5-day trip, higher than the International Space Station. Isaacman and a SpaceX employee also plan to test their new custom suits with a spacewalk on Thursday. Next year's Ride Across Wisconsin will start in Eau Claire. Typically, the bicycle ride begins in La Crosse and ends in Milwaukee. The event's Facebook page says the first day will start with a victory lap around the Eau Claire and Chippewa rivers to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the ride. More than 750 people took part in this year's ride. Next year's Ride Across Wisconsin will begin on July 12th. Aaron Rodgers' long-awaited return to the field was spoiled by San Francisco as the 49ers got 147 yards rushing and a touchdown from backup running back Jordan Mason in their 32-19 victory over the New York Jets. Rodgers threw for 167 yards and 1 touchdown, but also had an interception. A year after his debut with the New York Jets ended with a torn Achilles after just 4 snaps.
Yeah, we were talking there's going to be an Aaron Rodgers docuseries.
I heard about that.
On Netflix.
Enigma.
Called Aaron Rodgers Enigma.
I don't know. I think I know about all I need to know.
Oh, I bet there's some weird,
I'm sure
weirder
there's some
stuff
weird
in there.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know the ayahuasca, the darkness retreats.
Yes.
The ex-girlfriend that made him eat mud, right? Mud balls.
Her heart will never be the same, by the
To
way.
try and get the lead out of your body or
broken.
whatever it was. Wasn't that?
I missed that
The
one.
lead from the shots.
Double
The
broken.
immunization.
Mm-hmm.
That one really got me. Dude, just own up to it. Say you're not getting it.
Counting Crows opening up the weekend in Green Bay on Saturday night. Free concert, by the way, Shaw.
Really? I like the Counting Crows.
5 o'clock on Saturday at Lambeau's Northwest parking lot. It's parking is free. It's first come, first serve. Fans can bring chairs and blankets for the show. Food and beverages are available for purchase.
Their song Hanging Around is a jam. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree with you.
Been hanging around.
And then the Atrium, including the Packer Pro Shop, the Hall of Fame, and stadium tours will begin on Saturday as well. So kind of the beginning of the season
Here we
in
go.
a big way in Titletown.
It's going to be nuts. Then next year, draft. That thing's going to be wild. Think we'll break Detroit's record?
In terms of attendance, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know
it's going to
they
be harder to cram them all in there, though.
Yes,
I
it
mean, Detroit's
will.
much larger than Green Bay.
Yeah. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. You wear a fitness tracker at all, Shaw?
I don't.
Got one on your phone or on your watch or any of that crap?
Nope.
I'm sure Jean's got one.
I got one.
Oh, yeah. Got to keep her stress levels down.
It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Do you power it by your own stress?
I don't. It plugs in
Doesn't
every
have to
couple
recharge
months.
it. Just like, can you take me off for a while? I need a break. No?
No.
All right. Your whole family wear them, or do you just...
Me and the runner.
Okay.
Because she has an Apple.
What does yours do? Is it sleep? Is it heartbeats? Is
I
it
mostly use it for
farting
steps,
noises?
but it also does sleep. and a couple other things.
Does
that
it
I never
text,
look
make
at.
phone calls, take pictures?
It does. It can be set up to let me know when there's messages on my phone. It can be synced with it, but all
you
it
can't
does is
read 'em?
drain the battery.
Okay.
You can read them, but you can't reply to them. So it's like,
What the hell's the point?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about fitness trackers the next time we get to Shaw, so stick around for that. Also, Grant Bill's going to join us at about 8:25 to talk Packers in Brazil and the road ahead of them without Jordan Love for the
Game or
foreseeable
two.
future, maybe? Yeah. Also, big series in San Fran for the Brewers. We'll talk to Grant Bills about that. Right now, it's Red Sun Rising.
Rock mornings on your rock station.
Red Sun Rising with Death Wish on Rock Mornings. We'll get to Bush in a few. Got a text from Tom. I think Tom wanted our numbers last week. Was that Tom? The lottery numbers, remember? And we looked up
I looked at
the most common ones.
Did it win? Did he win?
He said he saw a pretty big bobcat in the morning
On his
way
trail
into,
cam?
on his way into work. Said also not a winner on that lottery ticket.
I bought a Mega Millions last night.
You got another chance tonight. Tonight, son? 700 something million?
800
Is it over 8
million?
God damn. Got a text from somebody who said, Goonies should not be touched. Leave it be. It's perfect the way it is. They won't be happy until they ruin everything. Yeah, I don't know. A sequel, though, with the original cast. Might be okay.
Maybe. You're
I know.
usually not into that.
No,
This-
but I'm not into the reboots, right? Like Roadhouse with whoever it was, Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal. That's not Roadhouse. Roadhouse has already been done. That's not a sequel either. It's done. It's over. Patrick Swayze did it, and he's dead. You can't do it. They were talking about doing it with Ronda Rousey, too. Like, come on, man. Perfect movie.
But this would be different in
Goonies-
your mind because
it's a sequel. A sequel is different. You involve the regular cast, the original cast, continue the storyline, right? The characters we love. Jim texted in and said Roadhouse was terrible. I agree. I didn't even have to see it to know it was terrible.
I like the fight scene at the end, but it wasn't Roadhouse.
Dean texted in and said Corey Feldman might be busy with his flourishing music career. And also got a message on Facebook from my guy Curtis who said, if filming Goonies 2 gets Corey Feldman to stop playing music, I'm all for it.
See, they don't like it.
Yeah, that part of his career, not so good.
Yeah, but if you can, if you've always wanted to and you've got enough money to play around.
If that's what you want to call it. Josh also sending me a message saying, I agree on Roadhouse. I dislike Conor McGregor. I will never watch it. Yeah. I'm good. I already saw it in its perfect form. It's kind of like how I feel about Guns N' Roses. Like, I love Metallica, so I'll go see Metallica whenever I get a chance. Guns N' Roses, I like them, but I also saw them on the Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 tour with Metallica on the Black Album tour at Gillette Stadium. And it was like the perfect concert. And I don't know if they can outdo that. So, like,
Well, they probably can't outdo that.
Right,
But that
so
doesn't mean you wouldn't appreciate them in their current form.
I don't know. It just doesn't. Yeah. That Bush is coming up in just a bit. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
More of your rock mornings coming up in just a bit. Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Bush with Machine Head. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. They were at Copeland Park and Event Center in July. And then we got one more this Saturday. Highly Suspect, Des Rocks, and Dead Poets Society. The third and final act in the 2024 Ultra Rock Summer Concert Series at Copeland Park and Event Center this Saturday night. It's going to be a hell of a good time.
Weather's going to be perfect.
Yeah, it looks like about 81 and cloudy during the day, so it'll cool off real nice by about 4:30, 5 o'clock when the show gets started. Happy 40th birthday to Matthew Followill. He is one of the members of Kings of Leon. He's their lead guitarist. You like those guys, right?
I really, really like that first album.
Randy Johnson, Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher, known as the Big Unit, is 61.
So many of the reasons that I've been inducted in the Hall of Fame are long gone now. I no longer have a fastball. I no longer have a bad mullet.
That guy killed the bird, right?
Yeah.
Threw the pitch, killed the bird. He's like, I think he's an NFL photographer now. Like he like.
Really?
Yeah. Also, one of the weirdest Hall of Fame speeches of all time. Basically reading his Wikipedia page. Very strange. I don't know if it was like a performance art piece or what, or if he's just that goofy and weird. But his Hall of Fame speech was something. Dave Lowry, the frontman for the band Cracker, is 64. Hey, like being stoned. Joe Perry, 74. Aerosmith guitarist.
All done touring.
No more touring, no more Aerosmith.
No.
It's over. Right?
Yep.
Steven Tyler can't do it anymore?
Yes. Injured his vocals so badly they'll never recover.
Bill O'Reilly, 75.
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there to play us out. What does that mean, to play us out?
Sting is going to do, it's a video, Sting video. Okay.
What is...
For credits.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
I can't do it.
Can't do it.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
No.
We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
So bad. Bill O'Reilly, 75.
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean to play us out?
What does that mean?
Born on this day in 1929, died in 2016. Golf legend Arnold Palmer.
And my favorite story, we're playing in Japan and we're on this green and it's a big TV show and the crowds are just all around the green, and Arnold, unfortunately, he had a big poop on the green, and so I started to laugh and he walked away, and this Japanese umpire, the referee of the match, came up to me and said, "Player son, Mr. Player, no poop on green." I said, "No, it wasn't me, it was Palmer." He says, "No, Palmer never poop on green. Palmer king, he never do it."
That's some legendary status. When you can go on a golf course and they'll be like, that guy would never poop on the green. Oh, man, nature calls. September 10th, 1990, 34 years ago today.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
Will Smith made his debut on television on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air on this day 34 years ago. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. 1993, one of my all-time favorite movies in theaters on this day, starring Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper, Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette. I mean, the list goes on and on. Michael Rappaport, Bronson Pinchot, Gary Oldman, Samuel L. Jackson. True Romance.
Please shut up. I'm trying to come clean, okay? I've been a call girl for exactly 4 days, and you're my third customer. I want you to know that I'm not damaged goods. I'm not what they call in Florida white trash. I'm a really good person. And when it comes to relationships, I'm 100% I'm 100% monogamous.
Oh, man. Love that film.
Yeah.
You ever seen it? I tell you this every year.
Yeah.
True Romance.
Oh, of course.
So good. So good. Gary Oldman should have won an Oscar. He was on the screen for about 10 seconds. Should have won an Oscar. So good. Drexel the Pimp.
You must have thought it was White Boy Day. Huh? It ain't White Boy Day, is it?
It ain't White Boy Day. I got to go home and put my Drexel shirt on. My wife got me one for Christmas. Or my birthday, one of the two. There you go. Some stuff that happened on September 10th, along with some birthdays. We'll get back to Shaw and talk about Fitbits and personal fitness trackers here in just a couple minutes.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Fitness trackers.
Mm-hmm.
Keep count of your steps, heart rate, sleep rate, all that crap, right?
Yeah.
Text messages, phone calls, Dick Tracy phone.
Yeah, they vary, obviously, a lot.
But did you really take those 10,000 steps?
Is this where you shift from side to side and it doesn't necessarily mean you took a step? Is this what
A study found that fitness tracking apps on your phone or on your wristwatch or whatever the hell it is are not as accurate as you may think, including the amount of steps that you think you take in a day. Looked at Fitbits, Apple Watches, and a bunch of other brands. Here are the 5 things those devices track and how accurate the results were for each of those 5 items. Shaw, you ready?
Okay.
Heart rate. They say that's pretty good. Your real number might be 3% higher or lower than what it says.
But it's in the ballpark.
Okay.
What are you looking at? Why
What
are you
is it?
looking at me like that?
What's up? You're the only one with one. Let's go. Details.
I don't even, like, what?
What does it say? Heart rate. What's your heart
I
rate?
don't know. I'll look.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh, it's 0. Oh, you got 3% more.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
What the hell good is this stupid thing if you can't tell?
Well, you got to know how to work them.
What are you doing?
I told you I use it for mostly steps and sleep. I'll look on my app.
Oh, my God. I teased this about a half hour ago.
I didn't know you were going to ask me about my heart rate.
You're the only one with one in here. All right, next up, heart rate variability. That's slight variations in the time between heartbeats, which can help predict potential health issues. They found that those are pretty accurate when you're sitting down, but not when you're up and moving around, Shaw. Apparently sitting down, resting, pretty good. Not so much when you're walking around.
All right.
What do you got over there?
I got 71 today.
Is that good?
Right now?
Beats per minute.
Is that good?
Yeah, yesterday I was, I have it, I ranged here between 60 and 70, 69 and 73, it looks like. Also, I can tell you how many steps I took if you care about that.
No, we'll get to that.
All right.
Sleep tracking. Another thing that they track on these apps and watches and all that stuff, Shaw. They found, the study found that fitness trackers tend to overestimate how long you were sleeping and underestimate how long it took you to fall asleep.
I bet. How do they, that's the thing I always, how do they know exactly how do you know when I'm sleeping?
Calories burned.
Okay.
Not great.
Not
apparently.
great.
Not great. Some devices underestimated by up to 21%. Others overestimated by up to 14%. So you might think you just burned 100 calories, but in round numbers, you probably burned anywhere between 90 and 125. So spitballing it, I guess. And last but not least, as Gene mentioned, counting steps. Not awful, but not great is what the study says. It may say that you took 9% fewer steps than you really did, or 12% more. That's a pretty big window.
Pretty big. Yeah.
It is.
That means it could say 10,000 steps when you really took anywhere between 9,000 to 11,000. In general, they found fitness trackers are more likely to undercount steps. So if it says 10,000, chances are you're
a little bit more than
you're
that.
a little more than that, not less. So what did it say? What do you got in there?
For today?
Yesterday.
I didn't make goal. I didn't make goal, if that's what you're...
What's your goal? Is it 10?
Yeah, well, yeah. 8,947 yesterday.
Oh, you're way off. You suck.
Yeah, it was not a good day.
Well, you're not
Remember,
good.
my knee was all screwed up. I was hardly
They don't
good.
count those steps? Well, you should have seen her janking around in here yesterday, Shaw.
I was trying.
Dragging that dead leg around.
I was bad. It was not good.
Oh, my knee. Oh, God. I can't.
heard it.
You're going to have to help me get my computer out of my bag. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah.
The hell's wrong with you?
It like
so your knee
blocked.
hurts. My whole body hurts, okay? Everything
it wasn't
hurts.
like that. It was like I could hardly
Try
move,
walking around
Sean.
with psoriasis all over your body every day.
I could hardly get up.
Oh, my knee. Get my mouse. Hurry. I can't get it.
I couldn't sit. I couldn't. I mean, it was
terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I felt
So,
real bad for her.
Yeah.
I've been here.
It's close, is what you're saying. Everything's kind of close.
It's good for a baseline, I guess. It's not going to accurately predict everything, though, is what they're saying.
Well, then why even try for those 10,000 steps?
Right? Spend all that money.
For me, it's just a motivator, Shaw. Right. It's not necessarily like I look at it and go, oh my gosh,
today.
How much sleep did I get? How was my blood? It's more like, oh, you better go for a walk.
Put down the mayo.
Shaming you.
Bad news, happy music coming up. The next time we talk to Shaw, we're going to get Grant Bills on the phone after Seether.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Seether with their latest, that is Judas Mind on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. And about 8:25 on Tuesday mornings, joining us on the phone, the one and only Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, heard throughout the state on a number of radio stations. Grant, how are you?
I'm doing well, Simpson. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. My Patriots are 1-0. What a hell of a start to the season.
Oh, jeez.
That was, and I picked on Bill's show. I picked the Patriots to cover. I didn't necessarily pick them out right. We should have seen that one coming, Simpson. I'll say it. The Bengals always start slow. They've had all the drama. The NFL always finds ways to surprise you. That we should have seen that coming. That was not a surprising result.
That is a week one every year. You can bank on it. Some scrub team that's going to finish 4-12 or 4-13 or whatever the hell the records are now is going to pop somebody. And it's usually a playoff contender or a Super Bowl potential team, and it happened to be my team this year. And it was the Patriots getting a win over the Bengals. But your Packers, of course, taking one on the chin down in Brazil.
Yeah.
Terrible field, not meant for football, and Jordan Love getting the injury. And we've been talking about it all leading up to the season, the necessity of a backup quarterback. And you kind of poo-pooed it several times about a veteran quarterback, and now here you are.
I don't remember. When did I poo-poo? I remember having a nice discussion about this with you, Simpson, where so the Packers always do this, right? They draft guys, and they trade for projects. They like having a project. They're tinkerers, and sometimes that can be fine. It just more often than not in the last 10 or 15 years hasn't really worked all that well. Like Brett Hundley kind of stunk, and DeShone Kizer kind of stunk, and Sean Clifford stunk. So Look, spending, $10 million on Gardner Minshew maybe isn't the best use of money, but I would like them to have maybe a little bit more sturdy or reliable backup option than someone they got in the 5th or 6th round of the draft or some project they acquired from Tennessee. And we talked about this, Simpson. What do you mean I poo-pooed? I don't remember poo-pooing.
Well, I was of the opinion that they should bring in a veteran quarterback, and you sort of poo-pooed because the Packers don't do that, and then here they are needing a backup quarterback, and a veteran, might be a little better option than Malik Willis.
Well, they don't. I was right. They don't do this. Matt LaFleur was asked about it yesterday at his presser, and he kind of got all frustrated. It's like, no, we haven't reached out to anyone. I don't know where that stuff comes from. So, they don't approach veteran quarterbacks. I don't think they will. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't. I don't know. I talked about it on my show last night. If Malik Willis is awful for 3 games and the rest of the team looks pretty good, and it's very clear that their number one problem is quarterback and Malik Willis just isn't it, their general manager should have to wear that, right? I know we all like him. He's the UW lacrosse guy, but that should be hung around his neck, right?
Yeah, and, there was reports earlier this week that Bailey Zappi may end up on the Packers, and now the good news, I guess, out of Green Bay is that looks like Jordan Love's stint on the IR, or not necessarily the IR, but his injury may not be as severe, and he might be back sooner than later.
Matt LaFleur said yesterday, the first question he was asked in his presser was, is Malik Willis the backup? And he answered, yes, if Jordan Love can't go, Malik Willis will be the backup. He's just, Simpson, Belichick and the Patriots, they were great at this forever, just throwing doubt into the air, right? Sprinkling uncertainty about this and that. So I think it's definitely some gamesmanship. But, they could have put him on IL or IR. The leagues are different. If they knew he was going to miss a month, they would have put him on injured reserve and then designated him to return. So my hope is 3 weeks, maybe 2, maybe 4, but I think 3 weeks is kind of where I'm hanging out at this moment in time.
Switching gears, going to the Brewers. They've lost 5 of their last 7. They were on the road yesterday as they head to San Fran to take on the Giants. And obviously still not in danger of coughing up that playoff spot, that number 1 spot in the NL Central. But still, you got to look at their record over the last week or so and think that they're hopefully looking to turn things around here.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. Pat Murphy mentioned last week that the crowds have been a little lackluster since Labor Day, and I think Brewers fans, I think they raised their eyes that. It's like, okay, sorry, we can't give you $45K a night.
Does he know
schools
why? He does realize that the Packers are playing, right? And they take precedence over anything in this state?
Yeah, I mean, yes. And I feel that on my show, and you probably feel that in your sports life too with the Sox, because they're not exactly having a stellar second half of the season. But like, we can't put $45,000 in the seats on weeknights when school starts. You know, and the other day, like it was pretty, like it was packed on, was it Sunday or Saturday? There was 40,000 in attendance there, and someone on Twitter, I saw them tweet. It's like that was like 13,000 fans per hit they recorded. Like they just haven't been hitting the ball. So that's been their problem. It's Jackson Churio and everyone else right now. Like if their 20-year-old phenom isn't crushing the ball, they're not really scoring runs. And that's kind of a shaky place to be in with the playoffs around the corner.
I don't know when the actual night is. I think it's actually this Saturday, or next Saturday, the 21st. But Grant, you're an insider with the Brewers. You got connections. If you can get your hands on one of the puffy vests, my wife would adore you. She has been bugging me nonstop about the puffy vest. They do the giveaways, and it's puffy vest night on the 21st. And she's gotten like 17 beers in her, and she starts rambling off what she's going to do with this puffy vest stuff, and I can't get her out of my ear. So, Grant Bills, if you could hook a brother up with a puffy vest, I would appreciate it.
Are you saying puffy? Are you saying puffy vest? What is that?
What is it?
It's my way of pronouncing puffy. Yes, puffy.
It's a
puffy vest.
It's a vest. You can't miss. It's a giveaway on Saturday the 21st.
I don't think. Do I have plans? I'm going the 28th. Maybe I'll go the 21st too. And if I go, Simpson, you know what? I will get your lovely wife a poofy vest.
All right.
Just to make you happy. I don't think I'm doing anything that weekend. I'll go. Maybe I'll make it my mission.
It's not to make me happy. It's to make her happy. It'll be on the 21st, by the way. It's next Saturday, the 21st. So if you can make that a reality, that would go a long way for me. I appreciate it.
Look, Simpson, I know it's not to make you happy. My dad taught me long ago that when mom isn't happy, nobody's happy. And I think that's advice that we should live by. So I will do my best to acquire this vest for you.
I appreciate that, Grant Bills. Always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday. Not a lot of time for chicanery this morning. I apologize. I hope you and your lovely girlfriend are doing well. I'm sure that things are going splendidly.
She's in Kentucky this week on business. So
like I said, that's why things are going splendidly.
They're going just perfect. Yeah, it's so quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Very quiet.
Lots of video games.
A lot of pooping with the door open. A lot of that going on.
Oh, I'm not an animal, so I still close the door even though the apartment's
There's
empty.
no one there. You can just poop anywhere. You can poop in the sink if you want.
No, he's not like that. He's not. Thank you.
I don't like cat watching me. I don't like the cat watching me. Anyways, you guys have a good day. I miss you both. Excited to see you during Oktoberfest.
Grant Bills from the Wisco Sports Show joining us on the phone each and every Tuesday at about 8:25. We got bad news, happy music coming up in just. I'm not an animal. Pooping with a door open is a symbol that you're an animal.
He's not an animal. He's highbrow.
Jesus Christ. We would be the odd couple. Jack Lemmon and the other guy. Walter Matthau. That would be us.
You guys?
Oh man. I'd be ripping it up in there. He'd just be like, "Oh my God, Simpson, close the door."
Rock mornings only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
A Tuesday edition with Shaw back from his birthday vacation. What do we got?
Well, like clockwork, the country known for its timepieces, as well as cheese and chocolate, has yet again taken the top spot in U.S. News & World Report's annual Best Countries rankings, marking the third year in a row that Switzerland has placed number one. The Central European nation is followed by Japan at number 2, and the U.S. at number 3. Canada and Australia round out the top 5.
Where are we at?
Number 3, behind Switzerland and Japan.
Man, that Switzerland sounds like a place to go. Huh?
Man, always. Always.
I know you talked about this earlier, but I love this story. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu sprang into action the other day after a contestant at the Hampton Beach lobster roll eating competition started to choke.
Bro, you got to... I got to set the scene for you.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Hampton Beach?
I am not.
All right, so ocean, obviously.
Yeah.
One big, long beach, probably a mile and a half, 2 miles long, right? And there's a huge, arcade, strip mall,
Like a Navy Pier kind of a thing.
Right, yeah, and there's a road that goes right in front of it. You drive up and down, people, and they take that and they essentially close it down for the seafood festival every year. And there's hundreds and hundreds of tents, and it's nothing but seafood as far as the eye can see, Shaw. It's delightful.
So these guys decide, guys and gals, to competitively eat lobster rolls.
Yep. It's an eating competition. And one of the contestants named Christian Moreno started to signal for help when he got a piece of lobster stuck in his throat and he began to struggle to breathe. Now, Sununu, the governor, was there and started saying he's choking, and so I gave him the Heimlich, and he gave Moreno 4 or 5 compressions before first responders took over and helped free the stuck piece of lobster. But the amazing thing is that guy, despite almost choking to death, went right back to the contest and ate another 7 lobster rolls after that.
So gross.
This was the guy's first competitive eating competition. It's not clear if he'll be in another.
Guessing he didn't win.
The gentleman at the far end, who I was kind of watching, he took a pause. He was having trouble getting something down. I started saying, he's choking, and I could tell people weren't responding. So I just moved forward and immediately started to kind of give him the Heimlich. He went right back to the contest, which I couldn't believe. He ate another 7 lobster rolls.
I can't
after
either.
that, right down the gullet.
My counter came up to me and made a joke and was like, I bet nobody else can say that they've gotten a Heimlich from the governor before. I looked at him and was just like, that was the governor?
Awesome.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. You had one job, a fire that rapidly scorched more than 5,400 acres in California's Orange County's Trabuco Canyon, was started accidentally by public works crews who were trying to prevent access to some dangerously dry brush. The fire started around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon and spread quickly in hazardous weather
Steve,
conditions.
maybe you shouldn't be smoking that cigarette over here.
Right.
We're kind of on the job site.
They had to evacuate more than 1,400 homes and more than 1,000 firefighters responded. It started as public works crews were trying to move some boulders to prevent access to an area of the canyon that has a lot of dry vegetation that could ignite easily. So they were trying to prevent a fire when, in fact, they started a fire. It was started by a spark from some of the heavy equipment being used to replace the barriers.
That's probably not going to work out well for us, is it?
No. A Colorado man was found dead over the weekend in the Grand Canyon while on a group river trip, marking the 7th fatality in that national park since the end of July. Grand Canyon Park officials got a call about a fatality at Pancho's Kitchen, part of the canyon near the Colorado River. The deceased was identified as Patrick Horton, a 59-year-old from Salida, Colorado, who was visiting the canyon on a river trip. His body was found by other members of his party. The Grand Canyon has had a turbulent summer. There were 6 deaths in August alone, ranging from a woman being swept away by a flash flood to an illegal base jump gone wrong. 3 people died in the first week of August alone. Horton's death marks the 15th fatality of 2024 at the Grand Canyon. Police in Las Vegas arrested a man named Myron Bully on charges of attempted murder and battery with a deadly weapon. Police got a call of a person bleeding near an Arco gas station in Vegas. Officers found the victim lying on the sidewalk, his face covered in blood. He couldn't tell what happened, taken to a hospital. The man was suffering from multiple skull fractures and multiple facial bone fractures. The clerk at the gas station told police he was upset. The victim took too much cheese from the cheese machine that he was putting on his nachos. So he told the victim to leave, but the victim returned a few minutes later. That's when the clerk, Bully, pushed him out, hit him with a baseball bat. He admitted he hit the man twice, including once in the head.
What?
But video
so
from
the
inside the store
beat this guy for taking cheese?
For taking cheese from the nacho cheese machine.
Whoa,
wow, dude. I'll decide how much cheese I want.
Right?
Oh, my God. What is that? What was that? Is that cheese? Have you eaten cheese? How much cheese have you eaten today? How much cheese is too much cheese? Any amount of cheese before a date is too much cheese. I had a lot of cheese. I had a block of cheese. Okay, just eat a block of cheese. I was very nervous. I started eating cheese, man. All right. Does that calm you down? Just don't breathe in her direction, okay? Whatever you do.
Man, don't tell me how much nacho cheese to put on there. He beat him with a bat.
Baseball bat, yeah.
Never coming back to this place.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Is this dreamy or is it a nightmare? The candy company Brock's is giving people the opportunity to stay in an elaborate candy corn-themed hotel suite this fall. The rooms are offered exclusively at a couple of Great Wolf Lodge locations, one in Pennsylvania, another in Gurnee, Illinois. You can book your stay now, but only while there is availability between September 22nd, which is the first day of fall, and Halloween. The rooms are being offered on a first-come, first-served basis. The rates start at $349 a night. The suite is decked out top to bottom in orange, yellow, and white with actual candy corn designs. And yes, you will get candy corn. Every booking comes with a 1-year supply of candy corn, which is shipped to your house once a week for 52 weeks. It's an 11-ounce bag, so yeah.
One 11-ounce bag? That's all I saw it this morning.
I could not stay in that hotel.
It's too bright. Too
much color.
Too bright. Too much color. Too much happiness. I don't need all that in my life.
I can see where kids would think it was awesome.
Police in Baltimore arrested a 67-year-old man named Thomas Cairns for stealing speed cameras. They've charged him with taking 4 of them from 3 different locations, but they suspect that he's responsible for stealing dozens throughout the city.
Like off the light poles?
Yeah. Speed cameras can issue tickets to drivers who drive recklessly. They've been controversial because they've at times issued citations to drivers who weren't actually speeding. Baltimore has about 160 of these cameras, and they even have footage of the thief. He was wearing a hard hat. He got out of a van and used a grinder to cut the locks and remove the cameras.
Hell yeah.
Police haven't recovered the cameras, and they're not sure what his motive was yet, but a van registered to this guy did get hit with 1 citation from one of these cameras, but that was back in late August, and police believe the thefts began in mid-July.
How many of these did he take?
Well, he's been charged with taking 4 of them from 3 different locations, but they suspect he's taken dozens.
Is his name Nicolas Cage?
It was not Nicolas Cage.
I think that was the second one, right? National Treasure 2?
Yeah.
They steal the cameras?
No, he takes a piece of the Resolute desk from the White House, and he's driving through the intersection at full speed when the red light's red, and he uses the camera to get a picture of the hieroglyphics on the so that he can then try to figure it out.
Clever.
Just me?
I think so. I don't know. I saw the sequel. Yeah.
Very important plot piece right there.
Yeah, exactly.
The cameras.
An integral part of the movie, Shaw.
An 84-year-old woman in Florida was bitten by an alligator while walking her dog, but she lived to tell the tale. Del Bopple was walking her dog Queen near a pond in her North Fort Myers mobile home park when she said she felt some eyes gazing at her. That bad feeling turned out to be a 7-foot 3-inch alligator. The alligator approached the woman and her Shih Tzu so quickly that she barely had time to react. She said, "I've never seen
alligator bit my hand.
Never seen anything move so fast in her life." But the 84-year-old woman wasn't going quietly.
No, they never do.
She punched the alligator in the face before it retreated.
Hell yeah.
The woman taken to a hospital. They say she's in good spirits and looking forward to reuniting with her dog.
Gator don't play no shit.
It was like a torpedo. I didn't see anything go that fast in my whole life. Tossed her dog in the air, and then she hit it in the face.
Tossed her dog in the air.
She yeeted the dog so she could fight off the gator? I love it. I love it.
Priorities.
She did.
That's the benefit of having a small dog, Shaw. You can just pick it up and throw it.
She threw it in the air.
Did she catch it before it came down?
She caught it.
She threw it, and then she punched the alligator.
And caught it before. Ta-da!
And we've had a rash of bad doctors.
Oh, man. We had the penis guy. We had the nurse that was stealing the fentanyl.
The surgeon who was letting his teenage daughter drill into a man's skull.
We had the surgeon that took out the liver instead of the spleen. Yeah. Boy,
now, a doctor in India is being accused of causing the death of a 15-year-old boy after operating on him while watching YouTube videos on how to surgically remove gallbladder stones.
Oh, my God.
This doctor stands accused of causing the untimely death of a teenager by operating on him without having the proper knowledge or skills. The boy's family claimed they brought him to the hospital after he had vomited several times. He was admitted and his symptoms subsided, but this doctor decided that he needed to operate on the boy to remove a gallstone that he believed was causing the vomiting. After sending the teen's father away on an errand, the doctor operated him without the family's consent. But this resulted in a sudden worsening of the boy's condition. Eventually, they decided that the teenager should be transferred to another hospital, but the patient died on the way. And the doctor then went on the run after leaving his body on the steps of another hospital.
Is he even a doctor?
That's what they're looking into.
So just some weirdo that came to the hospital?
Is pretending to be a doctor, or maybe did for some time. They say this doctor had good reason to go on the run, considering how he handled the situation. They claim he lacked the skills to perform the operation that ultimately caused the patient's demise, as he was seen watching YouTube tutorials on how to remove the gallbladder stones while he was operating on the boy.
You got to beat that guy with a kendo stick.
He is still on the loose right now, and they're looking to see if he even has a medical degree.
Doctor? 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 Doctor?
No. Doctor?
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 Doctor? Doctor? Doctor? Doctor? Doctor? Doctor? Doctor? Doctor? Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor? Doctor? Doctor?
And
Doctor.
Was his name Chevy Chase?
Right,
No.
exactly.
Dan Aykroyd?
Man.
Just show up at the hospital like,
Well, and
I am going to take a look at your son. Why don't you go get some Pepsis? And here's $5 to do so. And then all of a sudden, gallbladder.
well, and not just because you thought you had to do it to save this kid's life. He was better. There was
Right.
nothing wrong with him. It was like he chose to perform an operation he didn't know how to do without the parents' consent.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, that's horrific.
And I always wonder about these stories. Aren't there other doctors or nurses in that room, and they're seeing him look at YouTube while he's doing an operation? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. How does this happen?
Don't you have to wash your hands and get
Right.
somebody to glove you up and have a full set of instruments laid out in front of you? I mean, technicians and anesthesiologists. Bad news, happy music. Thank you.
Sure.
I think it was a rough one. Talk to Shaw again tomorrow. Right now it's beer.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call,
Hello?
email,
I tried emailing you.
text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website. You can listen live right there at rockmornings.com. Check out our daily podcast. Find all our contact info. Follow us on social media. This is an appropriate question, but as a person who has spent a number of hours on the YouTube, it's not surprising. I don't know who this person is. They texted in, why is there a YouTube video on how to do surgery? Bro, there's YouTube videos for everything.
Remember at-home dentistry?
Yeah.
We had a coworker who was
Everything.
watching YouTube videos to do his own dentistry.
At home.
Because he didn't...
In a mirror with some glue and some forceps and all sorts of
Yes.
other crazy stuff. Yeah. An accurate and appropriate question, but again, YouTube's got videos for everything. Especially in that medical section, because
Well, and maybe it's a actual teaching
if you got to do
tool, but
triage, you know what I mean? Like somewhere you're in the woods, you know what I mean?
Something
Like
happens. But yeah, that guy could just learn how to do surgery as he went, apparently.
text from Rob said, why do I have the sudden urge to watch Field of Dreams now after hearing that
Yes,
James
no
Earl Jones
kidding.
passed away? Yeah.
I thought about that too.
Definitely going to be some people watching some movies starring James Earl Jones over the next few days. Passed away at the age of 93 yesterday. Jim texted in, said Roadhouse was terrible, and I said I didn't watch, so I won't watch. He said it was bad. Thumbs down. Yeah. Alec texted in and said the Crow remake was so unnecessary, and I said it looked like steaming dog poop, and he said Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. Again, I don't mind the sequel. It's the reboot that I have an issue with. If you do the sequel, like Coming to America, right? Sequel. I mean, they're making a Happy Gilmore too. They just put it in production.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. We just got Beetlejuice, sequel. Same actors, right? Same characters, new characters.
It's the reboot you don't like.
The reboot where you're just making the movie over
story
again,
again.
with the same head, the same title and different. I don't want that.
And changing the storyline. They did do that a little. They took liberties in the new Roadhouse.
Tom said he saw a pretty big bobcat going into work. Also did not win on the lottery ticket where we picked his numbers for him.
Mega
However,
Millions is tonight.
another $800,000 up for grabs.
Million.
Millions.
800 million.
There you go. Somebody texted in and said Goonies should not be touched. Leave it be. It's the perfect the way it is. They won't be happy until they ruin everything. And I said, yeah, again, reboot where you're just doing the same story with different actors.
But you like the fact that as many actors that want to be and are still alive could participate.
Dean also said Corey Feldman might be busy with his flourishing music career.
Ugh.
You watched the guitar solo. What'd you think?
I did.
Yeah, I can't believe you hadn't seen it yet.
No, I hadn't. It's
interesting.
It's something.
My buddy Curtis also sent me a message on Facebook and said, if filming Goonies 2 gets Corey Feldman to stop playing music, I'm all for it.
It's very 2024. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Got that going for him. Also got a message from Josh saying Roadhouse, one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. I'm assuming he's referring to the original Patrick Swayze version. Bonnie says, agree with you on Roadhouse, one and only Swayze. Yeah.
Did you see Bruce with the step counter?
No.
It regularly counts steps for me at 1 a.m. When a train goes by a mile away in the country, 20 to 50 steps on the overnight when I'm sleeping in bed.
Well, he puts the phone on the floor.
On the bedside table, like a nightstand.
So the house shakes a little bit and it thinks he's walking. That's one way to get your steps in, Bruce.
Yeah.
See, Doc, I'm doing the work. Baby steps. I'm doing
I've
the
heard
work.
that if you even just kind of
sway,
sometimes it can do that. So,
all right. I don't need a watch to tell me I'm fat and out of shape and disgusting. I know it. I see it every morning in the mirror. I'm
it doesn't tell
There's
you
that
that.
fat piece of crap.
It never
there
tells
he is.
you that.
That useless something. I don't need a watch to tell me that. I'm good. I know. Oh, you didn't sleep well. Oh, thanks. I didn't realize that. That's right.
No, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, I tried to go to bed at 7. I didn't fall asleep till after 9. Thank you. And I woke up at 1. Yes, thank you, Mr. Watch. Thanks for clarifying. Thank you. Oh, calories. You mean the giant mayonnaise and bacon sandwich I just ate is not good for me? Mr. Watch Guy, thank you.
It doesn't count that. It doesn't count your calories.
I'm so glad there's technology to tell me what I already know. Thanks for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.